Hey guys, my name is Kaavya and welcome to 4th grade math with Allstem. In today's video, we will be focusing on the measurement and data standards. We will cover problems that involve measurements and measurement conversions, area and perimeter, and angles. As always, our videos consist of 8 to 15 review questions, and each one is timestamped in the description box below, so you can skip ahead if you would like. If you want to review certain topics after the video, we have a link for further reference page in the description box below, along with all of our questions. This page has links which provide extra practice and materials. Alright, let's get started with the first question. Before we get started, this is a conversion chart you can use throughout this video. It has conversions of all different kinds of measurements, including capacity, time, length, and more. Okay, moving on to the first question. Question number 1. Nicole has a bottle of water which held exactly 500 milliliters. At home, she has another 7 of those same bottles. What is the total amount of water she has in the bottles at her house? Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time with this question. The answer to this question is 3,500 milliliters. So that diagram is just so you can kind of get a visualization of how many water bottles Nicole has at home. So this question is just a simple word problem using multiplication. So we know that Nicole has 7 bottles at home, and we're going to use B to represent bottles. And so we also know that B is equal to 500 because each one of those bottles holds 500 milliliters. So if we want to find out how much water she has in total at home, we're just going to substitute the 500 for B, so 7 times 500. And when you multiply 7 and 500, you get 3,500, which is the answer. Okay, so on to question 2. Question number 2. Penelope made a tub full of 69 liters of punch for her party. She wants to divide the tub into 3 containers. How much punch will be in each of the containers? Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time to solve the question. The answer to this question is 23 liters. So again, here is a diagram so you can visualize the tub and the 3 containers. And just like in the last question, this is a simple word problem, except this time we're using division. So we know that Penelope's tub has 69 liters and she wants to divide it into 3 containers. So we're trying to find out how much will be in each of the containers. So we're going to set up a long division problem. Okay, so we're going to divide 3 into 6 and you'll get 2 with no remainder. Then you're going to bring the 9 down. And then 3 into 9 is 3 with, again, no remainder. So you're just going to subtract 9. You'll be left with 0. And the answer to this question is 23 liters. Okay, on to question 3. Question number 3. Henry has 8 liters of soda. His friend took 300 milliliters of the soda. How many milliliters of soda does Henry have left? Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time to solve the question. The answer to this question is 7,700 milliliters. So for this question, you may want to go look at the conversion charts which we provided. We'll have them linked in the description box below, but you can also just go back to the timestamp. Okay, so we know that Henry originally had 8 liters and his friend took 300 milliliters. So to actually complete the subtraction, we have to convert the liters into milliliters. So we know that 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters, which means that 8 liters is equal to 8 times 1,000 milliliters, which will just get you 8,000 milliliters. Okay, so now we can go back to the question. So we have 8,000 milliliters minus 300 milliliters. And when you do the subtraction for that, you'll be left with 7,700 milliliters, which is the answer. Okay, moving on to the next question. Question number 4. So for this question, you're going to complete the chart given below and convert meters to centimeters or the other way around. Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time with this question. The answer to this question, going from top to bottom, is 300, 5, 708, 1,310, and 1,500. So for this question, you might want to go look at the conversion charts again. So this is the chart, same chart. And when you look back at the conversion chart, you'll see that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. Okay, so that being said, we're going to start off with the first one right here. So we have 3 meters and we have to convert that to centimeters. So to do that, you're just going to multiply by 100. And when you do that, you will get 300. For the next one, you have to do the other way around. So you're going to divide 500 by 100 to get the number of meters. And when you do that, you will get 5. For the next one, you're going to do what you did with the first one, which is multiply 7 by 100, and you get 700. For the one after, you're going to divide 800 by 100 to find the number of meters, and you'll be left with 8. So the next one's a little interesting, but you're going to be multiplying 13.1 times 100. And so you're just going to carry the decimal place over 2 and then put 0, and you'll be left with 1,310. And then for the last one, you're going to again multiply by 100. So 15 times 100 is 1,500 or 1,500. Okay, moving on to the next question. Question number 5. Catherine went to a movie which was 2 hours and 48 minutes long. And she started the movie at 1:23 p.m. What time did she finish? Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time to figure this question out. The answer to this question is 4:11 p.m. So for this question, you might want to go look at the time section in the conversion charts we provided. Okay, so Catherine went to the movies at 1:23 p.m. And so this is the hours place, and this is the minutes place. And if you did not know already, 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. Okay, now, so we're going to add the 48 minutes because we know the movie was 2 hours and 48 minutes long. So we're just going to start with the minutes. So to do that, we're going to put plus 48 here. Okay, now we're going to add the 23 and the 48 because you can only add minutes to minutes. You cannot add a minute to an hour. So 23 and 48, and when you do that, you'll get 71. So 71 minutes is basically 60 plus 11, and the reason I said that is because 60 minutes is 1 hour, and 11 minutes is 11 minutes. So 71 minutes is equal to 1 hour and 11 minutes. So then, basically, you're going to add a 1 to the hours place, and you'll be left with 2:11. So 11 will be the minutes. Okay, now we know the movie was an additional 2 hours long, so we're going to add plus 2 hours. And we're just going to add the 2 to the hours place, and when you do that, you'll be left with 4:11 p.m. And so that's the time the movie finished. Okay, on to question 6. Question number 6. Leah and Heather are planning to build a sunroom in their parents' house. Leah wants it to be 60 square meters, and Heather wants it to have a perimeter of 32 meters. In order for each of them to get what they want, what dimensions does the room have to be? Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time to figure this question out. The answer to this question is 6 meters by 10 meters. Okay, so here's a diagram you can use to kind of imagine what the sunroom they both want is. And to the right here is a chart we're going to fill out with the possibilities. So this column is going to be filled with possibilities, which would give us an area of 60, and this column will be filled with possibilities, which will give us a perimeter of 32. So we're going to start with the column on the left, and so this is the area column, and this is the formula. So to find the area of a rectangle, you're just going to multiply this side by this side, so A times B. Okay, and to find what A and B are, you're just going to list the factor pairs. and we're going to kind of use the process of elimination and see which one is common in both of these. Okay, so the first factor pair is obviously 1 and 60. The next one would be 2 and 30. And you have 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, and finally 6 and 10. So these are the factor pairs of 60. Now we're going to look at the perimeter. So the perimeter of a rectangle is the side lengths. So these two sides are represented by A and these two are represented by B. So you just have to add all of them. So you'll be left with A plus B plus B, which is basically 2 times A plus B. So we know that 2 times A plus B is equal to 32. So to find A plus B is equal to 16. So what that means is we're going to represent this with red. That means this side plus this side is 16. Okay, now we're going to list the possibilities. So there are a lot of them. So we're going to start off with 1 and 15. Then you have 2 and 14. 3 and 13. 4 and 12. 5 and 11, 6 and 10, and you could keep going, but you'll see here that you have a 6 times a 10 and a 6 and a 10. So the dimensions will be 6 meters by 10 meters. Okay, on to next question. Question number 7. To surprise her mom, Catherine, Sadie is covering her new miniature golf course with artificial grass. How many square feet of artificial grass will she need to cover the entire course? Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time with the question. The answer to this question is 29 square feet. So this diagram is actually really easy to use because it's all divided up, and we know that each one of these squares is represents 1 feet. So we're just going to count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So that is 29 square feet of grass. Okay, on to question number 8. Question number 8. Adele and Robert like a storage shed that they found on the internet, but they don't want anything that is bigger than 176 square feet. The floor plan for the shed that they liked is to the right. Does this satisfy their limit, and if not, by how much bigger is it? Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time with this question. The answer to this question is no, it is 33 square feet bigger than their limit. So this diagram is already divided into rectangles for you, which makes it much easier to find the area of it. So we're going to start off by finding the area of each individual rectangle and then adding them together to find the area of the shed in total. So the first rectangle, we're going to use the color red. It is 17 by 3. So we're just going to multiply 17 and 3 because that's how you find the area of rectangle. You multiply the side length times the other side length. So 3 times 7 is 21. So the 1's here, and you're going to carry the 2 over because you have to add it. And 3 times 1 is 3, plus that 2 is 5. So the area of the first rectangle is 51. The second rectangle is 2 times 14. So we're going to multiply 14 and 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. Then 2 times 1 is 2. So the area of the second rectangle is 28. The area of the third rectangle is 10 and the dimensions are 10 and 1. So to find that, you're just going to multiply 10 times 1. 1 times 0 is 0, and 1 times 1 is 1. So that's just 10. And to find the area of the last rectangle, you have to multiply 6 and 20. So 20 times 6. 6 times 0 is 0, and 6 times 2 is 12. So the area of the last rectangle is 120. Now to find the total area of the shed, you're just going to add all of them together. So you have 120 plus 10 plus 28 plus 51. Okay, so you're going to add the ones place first. You have 8 and 1, that's just 9. The tens place, 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5, plus another 5 is 10. So you have the 0 and you're going to carry the 1 over, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. So now you're going to see if 209 is greater than 176. So we're going to look at the hundreds place first because you start off with the greatest place value. And 2 is greater than 1, which means that 209 is greater than 176. So it doesn't meet their limit. But then the next part says that if it doesn't meet the limit, how much bigger is it? So to do that, you're going to just subtract 176 from 209. You're going to start off with the ones place again. So 9 minus 6 is 3. Then you're going to move on to the tens place. So you can't take 7 away from 0. So you're going to make this 1 10, and you're going to make this 10. And so 10 minus 7 is 3, and then 1 minus 1 is just 0. So it is 33 square feet bigger. Okay, moving on to the next question. Question number 9. A group of friends played a game. They recorded who won throughout the 15 rounds in a chart, which is shown to the right. Who won the most rounds? Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time with the question. The answer to this question is Molly. Okay, so to figure out the answer to this question, it's actually really simple. So you're given the game results, and you're given who won the each round, and now all you're going to do is you're going to count. So we're going to start off with Norman. We're going to count the number of times Norman won. So you have 1, 2, 3. So Norman won 3 times. The next person we're going to count is Tyler. So Tyler won once, twice, and again, he won 3 times. We're going to move on to Finn. He won once, twice. So Finn only won 2 times. We're going to move to Molly. Molly won once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. And finally, Susan. She won 3 times. So now we're going to look at the numbers, and you can see that 4 is the greatest. So that means Molly won the most number of times. Okay, moving on to the next question. Question number 10. Lucy and Sydney tracked the daily high temperatures for 20 days in May in a chart which they created on the right. Create a line plot that shows the frequency of the temperatures, and please make sure that you label the scale. Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time with the line plot. So this is the answer. It's shown to the right under the chart. So this is what it's going to look like. I'm not redrawing the line plot, but I'm just going to explain how it works. So you're going to draw a number line, and when they say label a scale, these are the labels, these are the numbers. And what I did was I started with the lowest number they showed, which is 66, and I started 66, and I labeled it all the way to the highest number, which is 74. So next, what you do is once you got it all labeled, you're going to look at the number. So you're going to start off with the first number, which in this case is 66, and you're going to count how many times it occurs. So it occurs once and twice. So you're going to mark it down 2 times. Then you're going to go to the next one, which is 67, and you're going to see how many times that occurs. That only occurs once, so you're only going to mark it down 1 time. And you're going to do that and continue all the way till 74, and then that's how you create your line plot. Okay, on to question number 11. Question number 11. If the 2 rays drawn below are perpendicular, what is the value of m in degrees? Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time with the question. The answer to this question is 42 degrees. Okay, so if you didn't already know, when 2 rays or 2 lines or 2 segments are perpendicular, that means they create a right angle, which is also 90 degrees. So now to find out what m is, this is just simple addition. So that means 18 plus m plus 30 is equal to 90. So then you're going to subtract the 30 over. So 18 plus m is equal to 60. And then you're going to subtract the 18 over, and you get m equals 42. So m is 42 degrees. Okay, moving on to question 12. Question number 12. Shane knows that when the hands on a clock are exactly at 12 and 1, the angle formed by the clock's hands measures 30 degrees. Based on that, he knows that the angle formed when the clock's hands are pointed to 1 and 6 is blank degrees. Fill in the blank. Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time to figure this one out. The answer to this question is 150 degrees. So this clock, we're gonna label this clock now. So we know that this section is 30 degrees. And so based on that, we also know that this section is 30 degrees, and this one is, and this one is, and so on and so forth. So now the question is asking, what is the angle when the clock's hands are pointed at 1, which is this one, and 6, which is this one. So between 1 and 6, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these identical sections, and each one is 30 degrees. So to find the angle, you're just going to multiply 5 times 30, and when you do that, you will get 150 degrees. Okay, moving on to the next question. Question number 13. Virginia's lawn water sprinkler rotates 75 degrees and then pauses. It then rotates an additional 15 degrees, and finally it rotates 35 degrees in the opposite direction. What is the total degree of Virginia's water sprinkler rotation from the original 0? Okay, so pause the video here if you need more time to answer the question. The answer to this question is 55 degrees. So this is a diagram you can use to kind of to visualize Virginia's water sprinkler. But we're just going to use simple arithmetic to solve this question. So we know that from 0, it rotates 75 degrees and then another 15. And when it rotates in the same direction, you're just going to add it. So 75 plus 15 is 90. And then we know that it rotates 35 degrees in the opposite direction. So when it rotates the opposite way, you're going to subtract it. So you're going to do 90 minus 35, and when you do that, you'll be left with 55 degrees. I hope this video was a good review of these standards. As I mentioned in the beginning, feel free to check out our links for further reference page if you want more practice. If you have any more questions, let us know in the comments down below. If this video is helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.